Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you to the session chairs and audience for joining this session. My name is Yina Hou, and I will be presenting causal structure discovery for explaining important features in machine learning. This is the overview of the presentation, where I will be first going through the introduction of the topic and the motivation behind the problems, and the method that we performed to deal with the problems, and the results summary and conclusion of the work. To begin with, this work is mainly based on the electronic health records data. It contains lab results, diagnosis of diseases, and vitals, and so on. In machine learning domain, EH data is widely used in diseases prediction task, and also machine learning models can provide feature importance to interpret the important variables of predictive modeling. However, correlation cannot reveal truly causation relationship. There are more in-depth examples for this point. The first classic example is a number of ice cream sales are correlated with the number of joint deaths. However, this is not because one causes another, but both of them actually happened in summer. So they are correlated with each other. Another example is the number of ashtray at home correlates with the number of lung cancer, but it's not ashtray cause lung cancer. And also, machine learning models cannot tell us the causal and effect relationship between variables, and it's might misleading for the clinical decision making. So it is crucial to understand the causal relationships, which can help us to build the trustable prediction in machine learning, and also to discover causal and effect relationships between variables. But how we can learn causal relationships? Uh, this is where the study of causal structure discovery comes in, which is the process of inferring the underlying causal relationships between variables from observed data. Here is another example of direct acyclic graph. We call it DAG, which is used to visualize the causal relationships among variables. Most CSD research focus on the direction of causal variables, but some models will also provide weights for each edge, which known as causal strength. If we know causal strength, it's easier for us to have a clear understanding for how much a causal side variables will contribute to the effect side variables. There are various models in the current literature study. First, PC and FCI models, they use conditional independent tests, but they cannot estimate causal strength. And the JES model, which is efficient, but it assumes linear Gaussian data. And another model, direct ligand, it estimates causal strength, but assumes linearity and continuous input data. The last model is Noether's MLP model, which supports nonlinear relationship. However, it's limited to the continuous data. Most of these causal models assume only continuous or discrete variables. There are more hybrid models like HCM, Noether's M, and PC Noether's. They are proposed to handle mixed data, but still they assume the linearity between the data relationship. So from the literature study, we know that most CSD models assume variables are continuous and the relationships are nonlinear. So they will fail with the binary disease outcomes, such as in the heart failure dataset. However, in the real world, EHR data is often as mixed data type. It can has categorical, numerical, and binary data type at the same time. So CSD methods are unexplored to evaluate causal strengths for the discrete outcomes, and also they are unexplored to compare machine learning importance with true causality relationships. Therefore, to the best of our knowledge, there is no model which can handle mixed type data and assumes nonlinear causal relationship between variables while providing causal strengths. Also, it's important to bridge feature importance with causal discovery to improve trustworthiness and interpretability of predictive models. For this study, let's move to the method for this study. We choose two representative causal discovery models where we have a linear model, which is a direct lingam. Another model is no-tiers MLP, which is a nonlinear model. The first, let's see how lingam works. Here is an example of a causal structure. Lingam assumes that for each variable x1, x2, x3, it is generated as a linear combination of its causal features and additional noise, shown as here E1, E2, and E3. And these causal relationships can also be expressed as this matrix formula shown here. And with minimizing the following kernel-based mutual information, it's a way to identify and remove the effect of the most independent variables at each step. Finally, we will learn the following DAG from lingam model. And now let's move on to the no-tiers MLP model, which uses MLP to extract nonlinear relationships within the data. With the weights of a MLP model, here the weight we call the weight theta. And we can get a weighted adjacency matrix to present the structure of a sparse DAG, which is W here. There is a new optimization function, HW, to ensure that the learned graph does not have any cycle. But however, the only HW is non-convex and leads to a suboptimal solution. So another penalty is added to penalize small changes in W. The final loss function should also consider to optimize all MLP regressions and another L1 regularization to introduce the sparsity. So both of these models provides causal strength among with causal directions. However, they cannot handle mixed type data. To address these limitations of both models, we propose our computational framework. We have our continuous medical features and binary class labels of heart failure. We pass this data into an MLP model, and the raw output is passed through a Sigmoid active function. This transforms the output into a value between 0 and 1, which we get a likelihood score. And the model is trained using the class-weighted binary cross-entropy loss to optimize the whole MLP. Based on the true label and likelihood score, we remove the misclassified samples and finally get the final dataset we will use for CSD models to get the causal strength and to train the machine learning model to get feature importance. And also we will calculate the feature correlation between features and heart failure likelihood. So the dataset we are using is curated from all of our research program, which contains real-world medical records. First, we select heart failure and non-cardiovascular disease patients based on the International Classification of Diseases Code. And second, we select 33 medical variables out of over 200 from the measurement section from the All of Us database. And in the next step, we selected medical records whose date is the nearest to the disease diagnosed date, and also we keep the unit same for each variables, and we remove the outliers for them. Finally, we get the dataset which focus on the male group, and it has over 7,000 samples and 33 variables. Their missing rate is 0.39, and the class ratio is 1.9 to 1. And here I will talk about more detailed experiment setting for our machine learning models, GBT and the logistic regression. We use 10 by 2 nested cross validation for the outer loops. The full dataset is divided into 10 folds. Each fold will be test part for the model. And for the linear loop, other 9 train folds are separated into train fold and the validation fold to update hyperparameters. Each 10-fold will give a feature importance score. After taking the average feature importance score, we can get the rank for each important variables. To evaluate our study, we propose our evaluation framework. First, we calculate the correlation between features and the heart failure likelihood score to get the correlation coefficient. And also from the machine learning models, GBT and logistic regression, we can get two different feature importance. For all these feature importance and correlation coefficient, we can get the rank order from them. Also, for our chosen CSD model, we get the causal strength from these two models, and also we can get a causal strength rank. And from here, we can take each rank order from correlation and feature importance with causal strength to calculate another pairwise correlations. I will show more details about how we calculate. First, we take the causal strength rank from Nautier's MLP model and the feature correlation. We calculate the pairwise correlation for these two rank, and also we can take causal strength rank from another direct ligand model and also calculate the correlation of ranks. And for all the machine learning model and CSME model, we do the same thing to calculate the correlation. Totally, we can get 6 different pairwise correlation of ranks. And here, let's move to the results part. First, I will show the results stack from two CSD models. First is direct ligand model, total 26 features show causal relation, and the 9 feature cause heart failure, and the other 17 features are effect of heart failure. In the no-tears MLP DAG, total 23 features show in the DAG. 12 features cause heart failure, and 11 features are effect of heart failure. For overall DAG, age is the most significant feature. Known as common knowledge, age doesn't affected by other variables, so non-linear no-tears MLP model give us more accurate results. And the age has the highest causal strength among all the causal features. Also, our model found that weight is the second causal features. Also, red cell distribution wise and glucose are important causal features for heart failure. Let's for the effect side, with the heart failure, the blood neuronitrogen, creatinine, and hemoglobin will have the highest chance to change by the heart failure. This table, we will show more tables. This table contains the rank order of causal variables and effect variables we will show in the following from two models. Feature importance from two machine learning models and the correlation between variables and heart failure likelihood. The correlation coefficient between no-TSU MLP cause variables and their importance score from GBT is 0.89, which is higher than the correlation coefficients between no-TSU MLP cause variables and their importance score from logistic regression, which is 0.82, and the variable correlation, which is 0.8, also 0.82. So the feature importance from GBT is highly aligned with causal strength from no-TSU MLP. Also, let's move to the effect features. The correlation coefficients between no-TSU MLP effect variables and their importance score from GPT is 0.9, which is the highest. And the correlation coefficient between effect variables and their importance score from logistic regression, which is 0.61, and variable correlation, which is 0.65. Both of them are lower than the feature importance correlation rank from the GPT. This table is Pearson correlation coefficient between variables value and heart failure likelihood score. When we focus on the top causal effect features and the top correlated features, we found that highly correlated features like hemoglobin, blood neuronitrogen, and hematocrit are effect variables. So correlated variables do not always appear as causal variables. They will also be the effect side variables. Therefore, the summary of this work is with our computational framework, nonlinear no-TSU MLP model, which finds age, weight, glucose, and other models as causal variables, and it provides more meaningful causal relationships between variables. And also, we found a strong correlation between feature importance from GBT model and causal strength, but some highly important features are not truly cause diseases. Finally, we combined machine learning with causal discovery, enhance explainability in clinical prediction models, and also this supports trustworthy in health AI domain. Beyond all the work, we can see that this study bridged the gap between machine learning predictions and causal reasoning in EHR-based heart failure diagnosis. And also our framework enable causal discovery model with mixed type variables and binary outcomes, which traditional methods often failed to handle. In the future, the proposed method can be evaluated on more tabular datasets. The following are all the reference we have in this presentation, and all reference will show in the paper. And thank you for listening. That's all for this presentation.